Heyo! Welcome to Hump Day Hangouts, episode 196. We are live on this awesome 8th of August at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we got almost the whole crew here today. Looks like Chris is missing. It's pretty late where he is, so cut him some slack. But we'll just go down and say hello to everybody real quick. Hernan, how are you doing today?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm really good. Kind of busy, but excited to be here. And really excited for POFU Live 2018 as well. So things are coming up nicely. So I'm excited for that.
And we'll be talking more about that in just a minute. Marco, how are you doing?
I'm working on POFU, man, each and every day. If you guys knew, I can't say. I'm sorry. I'm under NDA. What I was working on to just finally rid myself of this fucking bed bug that's Google. You'd probably, you'd line up to pay me. But let's just say we cracked the code, and, well, I'm not going to keep dropping F-bombs this early. Put the children away so I can go unfiltered. But having said that, man, POFU.
Enough said.
Sounds good. Bradley, how about yourself, man?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's hot as hell in Virginia right now. They're like stupid hot. So fortunately, I'm in the air conditioning. But it gets hot at my office because it's in the upstairs, and I got the fan running and everything, but it's still hot. So
yeah, it just keeps getting hotter as the
day goes on. It kind of sucks, but it's all right. I'm still happy to be here. So let's get to it.
Good deal. Well, real quick, if you're just joining us for the first time, thanks for showing up. You can always catch these live like right now, or if you're watching these on YouTube, obviously you can catch the replay. You can ask questions and check it out later, whatever floats your boat. If you're looking for the place to start with Semantic Mastery, we highly recommend the battle plan. You can find the link either on the page, again, if you're watching live, or on YouTube. And real quick, Hernan mentioned POFU Live. Hernan, what is this POFU Live that you speak of?
Well, POFU Live is going to be an awesome event. The first event that we're doing for Semantic Mastery is going to take place in October 19, 20, and 21st of October in Washington, D.C. The entire Semantic Mastery crew is going to be talking, and we have some guest speakers as well, so I'm really excited for that. And the main point of the event is that we'll help you guys reaching that POFU, right? We talk about POFU, and whatnot. And the entire theme of the event is how you reach that position where you can pretty much grow your business, get new clients, get your clients' results faster, and how to scale your business. That will put you in a POFU pretty fast. And then you will get the main idea is that we try to make it small so that we can kind of tailor the experience to each of you guys that are going to be attending. So it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, awesome. The idea is, we're going to try to create like a 3-step process for everybody that attends. And so there's anybody that joins or wants to attend, when you purchase a ticket, you're going to get sent a survey essentially that you have to complete, so that we can kind of tailor based on your specific business model, like what services, products and services you sell, what's your target market, that kind of stuff, so that we can help you apply our 3-step process, which is find clients, make the sale, fulfill the service, scale, right? I mean, that was, I guess, 4, but some of those can be combined. So essentially prospecting and selling, fulfilling the service, and in scaling. And that's really what we want to do. And so that's why, in part, why we're trying to keep the number of attendees very small. It's very limited to only 25 people. Because obviously we wouldn't be able to sit down and literally help develop a plan for your specific business model if we had 200 people in the room. So that's just part of the reason why we wanted to start our first one with a very small, limited audience, because we really want to help everybody that comes walk away with a plan specific to their business, and like what their needs are, what their financial goals are, and what their needs are, and such, and all that. And so again, that's all going to be information that you're going to add to the survey before you come to the event, so that we can have have some time to look over it and really custom tailor it for your business.
Definitely. Yeah, just had a quick conversation this morning with Jeffrey Smith from SEO Design Solutions. You might know him from SEO Bootcamp. Excuse me, also the SEO Ultimate plugin, which we highly recommend, and had a really good talk with him. I think you might be able to see it on our Facebook page, but a quick chat about what he's going to be talking about as a guest speaker at the event and why he's excited to be there. So highly suggest heading over to the Semantic Mastery Facebook page and checking that out. Real quick, too, speaking about the event, so we got some really cool tickets available for that. You can just come to the event if you want to. We got VIP tickets available for a little bit more, where you can spend some time having fun, goofing off with us, also networking and enjoying it the day before we hop into things. And then there's a special too. If you're interested in joining the mastermind and taking things up a few notches, you can get a ticket to the event along with I'm not going to go to the details, a bunch of goodies, but also a year's worth of the mastermind. So it's a hell of a deal. You're basically getting to come to the event for free if you check that out. So I'm going to put the link, or the link's already up there for the live event. So check that out. And if you have any questions, shoot us an email to support@semanticmastery.com. Alrighty,
All right.
I think that is about it. Does anybody else have anything? Nope.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I'm good.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, give me 1 second. In case we need it. No more tofu. All right, let me grab the screen. Sorry, I was looking at Greg's image already. Okay, I think we're good. Are we good? Can you guys see me? See my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so first up is Paul Williams. Yeah, okay, so I read this earlier a couple of days ago, actually, when it was posted, or at least I saw it a couple of days ago. So, yeah, last week, oops, sorry, guys. Last week, there was a or I don't know if it was last week, might have been the week before. Anyways, somebody had come on to the Hump Day Hangout and posted a comment about something that they said Josh Bachynski said, and I just want to clarify that we commented on it and engaged with that comment without actually verifying the comment on our own. So essentially somebody came and posted and said, hey, this happened on somebody else's show. This is what they said. Well, that could be taken out of context. And, you know, we did comment on that comment without having verified the comment ourselves and seen it in full context. And that was improper on our part. So I just want to clear the air on that. Semantic Mastery is by no means trying to pick a fight with anybody. That's not what we're about. I think that's juvenile, and I think that reflects poorly on us. So I want to kind of clarify that there was no harm intended. We didn't, you know, I just want to make sure everybody understands that, like, that's not like this, there's not going to be infighting in the SEO world between Semantic Mastery and anybody else. So Marco has his own opinions, and he's perfectly entitled to it. That's part of his charm. But I just want to make it very clear that we, you know, we were wrong for comment, or at least I feel like we should have at least verified the comment first and foremost and seen it in full context before we said anything at all. And I just want to clarify that. So I know Marco wants to say something about it. So Marco, please feel free.
Yes. At no point did I take whatever was claimed that Josh said as criticism of Semantic Mastery, nor did it get under my skin. I didn't feel that was aimed at Semantic Mastery or at anything that we do. If anyone thinks that all we do is drive stacks, and then they don't know Semantic Mastery. So there's no reason for anything to get under my skin. I went after a specific comment, which may or may not have been made. Some say it was said multiple times, whatever. It doesn't matter. Now, I will tell you this. Nobody's going to control my mouth, and nobody's going to tell me what to say or how to say it. I say it how it comes out. If it comes out unfiltered, well, fuck it. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it comes out. I don't try to control what I say. I just let it flow, man. And if it comes out wrong, well, it just comes out wrong. I was commenting on something that was said specifically, and I dealt with that. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now,
Very good.
Of course, it was my opinion, not the opinion of Semantic Mastery. It's what I said. And, you know, I see at the bottom of that Josh said that to invite us on the show. Well, our email is support@semanticmastery.com. You're welcome to write to us, invite us, and I'll be happy to show, and we can have a discussion. But again, nobody is going to control my mouth. That's just the way it is. I'm unfiltered. That's how it goes.
Amen. So D Card posted a reply, and I appreciate this, D, because he says that, you know, essentially this was just a misunderstanding created by an ignorant person who came on Hump Day Hangouts and didn't tell the full story, which made everyone angry at Semantic Mastery. The whole facade was due to an ignorant person who couldn't convey the whole story properly. I partially agree, but at the same time, it was also I think we should have reserved any comment until we had seen the comment ourselves or verified the comment, and also in its full context. Again, anything can be taken out of context, guys, and we reacted to something that could have very well been taken out of context. And I want to apologize for that, because that wasn't very professional, at least as a brand, and it is from what I think. Again, what Marco said about the specific comment, that's fine. But I'm just saying there was no attack there, and I just wanted to clarify that. So again, D, I appreciate your reply here. So thank you very much. But we're going to move on. And as Marco said, we're happy. Support at semanticmastery.com for anybody to come on our show at any time. And we just accepted the offer to come on to his as well. So let's make it happen. If somebody wants to see a debate, that's perfectly fine. Jordan says, has anyone taken the new WP Gutenberg editor? I don't even know what the hell that is for a spin yet. And did it break anything? Namely the RSS plugin from the Semantic Mastery RSS plugin, Ultimate SEO Plus, or anything else we typically use per SM's recommendations. I don't even know what this is. Is anybody else familiar with this?
No, I'm just checking it out myself. I'd heard of it, but it looks like it's the new editor. So I'm sure Jordan could enlighten us and let us know if it's already live or something. But that's just the name of their new editor. It looks like they're...
Okay. Yeah, I saw an update inside one of my WordPress sites today about a new editor coming soon,
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of going the way of the, I forget what you call them, but God, I'm having a total brain fart. But anyways, where you have like content blocks instead of more of the text type editor.
Yeah, like a modular page.
Visual Composer. That was what I was trying to think of.
Yeah. Visual Builder.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I know I haven't used it yet, so unfortunately, Jordan, no. But I can't imagine it's. I don't know. I mean, it might break shit. I don't know. I can't imagine why it would though, because, for example, I use Thrive Themes. We just had to update our subscription to that again, which is freaking expensive. But I use Thrive Themes for a lot of sites, and that's a modular page builder, right? And it doesn't break anything that I've noticed. Like the syndications still work, the blog posts still syndicate. I haven't seen anything buggy, but I don't know. So we shall see, Jordan. And I'm sure you will see reports in the Syndication Academy group if that happens. Okay. Brian says, anyone in here manipulate the Q&A on GMB and saw a difference in map rankings? I have not. I haven't done much with that yet. In fact, I haven't done a whole lot with Google My Business other than just maintain, client properties recently, because I'm working on the prospecting and sales side of it to be added to the local GMB Pro training once I've proven the method. First, I have to develop it, which it's in progress now, but then I have to prove it. And then I'm going to share that with the local GMB Pro. So I haven't done much in there, but maybe Marco has. Marco, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that you have to try. And whether there's a difference or not, I mean, we share our findings inside our Facebook group. We try to keep everything in there as far as what we do inside GMB. Generally, yeah, you can manipulate Q&A, and then you could see for yourself whether there's a difference in map rankings. It's not that difficult, right? What's that called? Answer the Public. Go to Answer the Public. Get a ton of questions that you could then answer and see if there's a difference. When you do that, see if there's a difference in map rankings. And really, Brian, the whole point behind our GMB training is we don't care about rankings. We don't care. It doesn't make a difference. We concentrate on results. Are we getting phone calls? Are we getting visits to the website? Are we getting direction requests if you have a brick and mortar or an office where people go? That's all we care about, because that's how we do that. When you're doing that, you're getting paid, man. And so that's we wanted to give people the ability to do that. Now, as a side effect, let's call it, of all of this that happens inside GMB, yeah, you will start ranking in the 3-pack, and you will start ranking in organic search.
Okay, I locked it on you for a minute because I had to pause the screen because I want to show something. I know this is part of the case study inside local GMB Pro, and I just want to point this out because of what Marco just mentioned. So I don't mind showing this. If we go to Insights here, this is the project that I used as the case study, which, by the way, I've got a second case study that I'm going to be adding to local GMB Pro for a contractor, which is awesome because that's primarily my business, the type of industry that I target. So I'm actually looking forward to that. This taxi service one was kind of boring for me because it's not an industry that I have much interest in, right? But it was it just worked out that he was a new client right at the time we were launching local GMB Pro. So I thought it would be a good case study. But what I want to point out here, and let me just zoom in very briefly, guys, because this is what the point Marco was trying to make, is the fact that just take a look at this. Look at some of the interactions. He got 16 interactions for the short single term phrase taxi, and then 12 interactions in the last 30 days for cab. And trust me, he's not ranking for those terms. Like if you go to Charlottesville, which is where this guy is, where this company is, and you search for, or you set your rank tracker to Charlottesville, or any one of those zip codes within the Charlottesville proper or anything like that, and because I use Bright Local, and that's how you set local reports to track for local, for maps, for mobile, and for desktop. And so anyways, you can set the actual search location. That's not perfect, but it's it's better than doing it without setting a specific location. And if in my Bright Local reports don't show him ranking anywhere near, like page 2, page 3, page 4 for some of these single phrase keywords, right? But yet this is absolute proof that in the last month people have been exposed to his business or with for these short phrases. If you see that, and again, it has nothing to do with rankings, guys. If you don't understand what the local GMB Pro services or how it produces results, go back and watch one of our webinars where we've talked about it, like the launch webinar or whatever, because we go into great detail as to how this works, or at least how we know it's working, because it's producing results, but it's not something that can be tracked by regular rank trackers, right? Because it's now complete. It's pretty much all speaking to the mobile algorithm and to individualized personal search results based upon browsing history, where they're located, so geolocation and all of that. So again, it's very interesting how this stuff works. We're getting actual, exposure and engagement from keywords that we aren't showing anywhere near page 1 in the reports. Does that make sense? Like I wouldn't even think to track these keywords, to be honest with you, because they're such short-tailed keywords. In the past, it would be damn near impossible to rank for those, right? But you can see I'm absolutely getting engagement from those, or this company is anyways, okay? And it's crazy because, I mean, like, look at this, guys. The 81 actions within the last month alone, 29 visits to the website, 51 calls, and 1 text message chat from only 134 maps exposures. So, I mean, that's pretty incredible, right? Mark, you want to comment on that at all, or should I move on?
No, man. We said we were going to turn SEO on its ear. This is results-driven SEO. It's no longer about ranking. We don't care. It's no longer about the 3-pack. We don't care. It's all about results. We produce results for clients. Clients pay us. Enough said.
Yeah. And again, it's independent of rankings, guys. Rankings are cool because we're SEOs. We like to see all that. And a lot of clients have been conditioned to expect to see ranking reports too. But I've had to re-educate my long-standing clients and my new clients, people that are coming in new. I tell them right off the bat, forget about traditional rank trackers. That's old. Who cares whether you're ranking or not if nobody's seeing it? Because it's all mobile algorithm now. It's mobile indexing first. And because of that, we should be focused in on mobile data, which Insights is primarily mobile data. So my point is, like, if I can show you, and remember, Insights is only showing the mobile activity. It's not showing desktop and laptop activity. But so my point is, what you're showing in Insights is actually only a portion of what they're actually, of what the type of engagement signals that they should actually be receiving. Because remember, GMB Insights does not track like people that it might track like a click to the website, but if somebody picks up the phone because they landed on your website and then calls from another phone, unless it's from their mobile device where it's a tap to call, and Google can now attribute that call directly to the, either from the search results, from the mobile device directly from the search results, or from a post, a GMB post, or from the website, right? That if they can determine that. But if somebody's looking on a laptop and they see the maps listing and see the phone number and then they call from their mobile device, that's not going to track as an engagement signal in GMB Insights, if that makes sense. So my point is, the Insight shows so much engagement on mobile, but that's only a portion of the overall engagement or exposure that the that business is actually getting, because of the, like I said, the restrictions on laptop and desktop not being able to track some of the actions that visitor is taking. That makes sense. Okay. So it's one of the most powerful things that I've seen. I think it's incredible how quickly you could generate leads from GMB stuff, guys. So in case you haven't joined it yet, do so. One
of the things that I'm constantly harping about in the Facebook group is that you need to be able to track everything just because of what you said. Because if you don't, then you're going to lose. You're not going to be able to track some of the conversions. Some of them will take place on websites. Some of them will take place by other means, but maybe they go and fill out a contact form or whatever. So you need to be able to track everything so you can get paid for everything.
This is cool. Steve. Okay, so Steve says, I know you have described Google Plus as a wasteland before, so do you see value in this new addition to GSites to keep the site active, possibly via IFTTT? GSites, and that's this link here, guys. And that's interesting because this was just published on July 30th, so like literally 9 days ago or 10 days ago. And that's crazy because, you know, Google Plus has been Google has been pooling Google Plus's integration with all of their other products. They've been doing it, you know, over the last 2 years, really. They've been pulling it out slowly but surely. And so, for example, you know, you don't see Google Plus as an option inside of GMB anymore, right? Inside of Google My Business. It doesn't automatically create a brand page anymore. You actually kind of have to dig around to figure out how to create a brand page now. It's interesting. They've taken it out of so many of the, you know, out of YouTube. They've taken it out of just pretty much everything. And so it's interesting to see that just 10 days ago, they're posting an article about adding G+ streams as a new feature to Google Sites. So as I've said this before, guys, look, as long as Google Plus is still around, as it is still available, I think you should still be using it because it's still a Google product. And if you can integrate it and connect it with all of your other Google products, your Google site, your Drive stacks, your Google profile, you know, all of those, your YouTube channel, there's no reason why you shouldn't use it because once again, you're just giving Google more of what it wants. And I do think that's a great idea, embedding it. Look, I'm not going to, Marco's our iframe, you know, genius. And we had a discussion in our mastermind community, actually, the Facebook group specifically about iframes and how freaking fabulously they're working. Marco was commenting on that just just recently, in the last couple of days. And that's, again, so that's because if you've got an iBet or excuse me, an embedded Google stream, Google Plus stream, then yeah, that's great because you're creating this like iframe tunnel, right? Like picture in picture type thing, right? That's just Google properties. And it ends up creating a loop that you can, as long as you close the loop with your GSite iframes and you can iframe into it, like add ID pages. We talk about that kind of stuff in the Syndication Academy for the February update webinar. Everybody loves that. We call it the local iframe loop. Like all those things are incredibly powerful, and it's because they're utilizing iframes. And if you can utilize Google iframes, you're going to squeeze a lot of juice out of it. You want to comment on that?
Oh man, that's perfect.
Okay, very good. We're going to keep moving. So Steve, thanks for pointing that out because that's a pretty cool update. I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit. Okay. Armand's up. He says, not sure how I'm ignorant for wanting. Oh, well, maybe that was Armand that posted that before. Thought it was a bold claim by Josh to say you just have it shut it down, snap a finger. I wasn't trying to make anyone angry. Just thought it was an interesting statement. Yeah, and Armand, I appreciate that. If that was you that posted that last week or whatever, I get that. All I was saying was that I don't think we should have commented until we had verified the comment on our own. Not that I'm saying you're lying about it, but I'm saying, again, it should have, on our part, we should have verified the comment and listened to maybe the conversation in its entirety before replying. That's how I should have handled it, and I didn't, and I apologize for that. And so I'm not attacking anybody or you, Armand. So just so you know, guys, that's not how we are. That's not who we are, and we're not looking to, hey, what do they say? Don't start none, won't be none. You know what I mean? So, but thank you. Yeah, but that I really, again, Armand, I don't want to get into debate about this. Armand came with a comment, and we should have verified it before commenting. That's all there is to it. Okay. Gordon's up. He says, hey, guys, thank you very much again for your Hump Days help. It's greatly appreciated. Well, you're welcome, Gordon. He says, I've read everywhere for some time that Google loves WordPress, and if you want to rank on the first page more easily, you must use WordPress. But lately, I've been reading that Google now loves HTML sites much better, and that is what we should be using. What is the truth? Honestly, you can rank either one. It doesn't matter. I think it's funny how things come full circle. It used to be HTML, then it became WordPress. And the reason why WordPress has ranked so well is because it's been industry standard for so long. The problem with WordPress, though, is especially now with mobile first indexing, right, is the fact that WordPress sites are typically a hell of a lot slower. And there's a number of factors that affect that, right? Hosting being one of the primary factors. But there's a number of factors that cause WordPress pages, even responsive WordPress themes, to load slowly. And since everything is a mobile indexing first algorithm now, like that's what Google search results are based upon, mobile indexing first. That rolled out and at the end of July, guys. That's absolute fact now, right? And because of that, HTML sites load incredibly fast, so much faster than WordPress sites if you don't know how to optimize for page speed. And so I haven't read anything about that. I don't know what the debate is about that specifically right now, because I don't follow that kind of stuff typically. But I imagine that is a very real debate. I can imagine that is going on right now, and I can understand why HTML would probably rank better now, because page speed is supposedly a ranking factor, and especially more so now because of the mobile indexing first, right? Mobile first index, excuse me. And so again, HTML sites load incredibly quick. I love HTML sites. I use them a lot for like add ID pages and for a lot of one-off stuff. I just create an HTML page because I can edit it in Notepad++ and then just upload it to a server, and it loads quickly, and I can, it's simple to maintain, and I don't have to worry about WordPress updates and security issues and all the other shit that goes on with WordPress. So anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, we have an AMP plugin in it's in Facebook, and I'm gonna go to the top and just it's called, our Facebook group is called AMP Creators Mastermind, and you can get the plugin from there, the most up-to-date plugin. There's also a video that details how to use it and how you can do just some really neat tricks with Google. Google will actually give you ideas and advice on what you need to do with your AMP pages to manipulate Google. How good is that? So AMP Creators Mastermind, the plugin is in there. It's free. We're not charging for it. Just ask to join the group and you'll get access to the plugin.
Yeah, and just to kind of finish up on this question, Gordon, you asked, like, so what should we be using? Honestly, what's going to be easier for you, right? I mean, here's the thing. WordPress, the nice thing about WordPress, and probably why it has become industry standard for so long, is because there's so much functionality between the plugins and all that other stuff. There's so much functionality that you can add without having to understand coding, right? Or HTML coding anyways. And so, excuse me, that's probably why, it had become industry standard. Personally, I can't do HTML sites other than a simple one-pager site. Like because I don't know how to add CSS files and, all that. I just don't know how to do all that shit. I just know basic HTML. And so I always just download an HTML template and then just edit it with the content that I need and upload it for like single page stuff. And I do a lot of one-page stuff with HTML sites, but I don't know how to build a full-on website out of HTML, and I don't really care to ever learn how to do that either. So really, Gordon, it's what should you be using? Whatever is easiest for you and you're most efficient with, because WordPress sites can absolutely be sped up to where it's not page speed isn't the issue, right? I mean, you might have to be a page speed nerd or expert to be able to do that, but there's lots of those out there. We've got several of them in our mastermind. I am not a page speed expert. I know how to do a few things to get it good enough, but I know some of our mastermind members that like they tweak and tweak and tweak until they get like these incredibly fast load times. And I just don't have the patience to do all that. Or you know what I mean? Like I get it fast enough to where it loads quick enough that it's not going to be an issue. Okay. That's a great question though, by the way. All right. Next one is Greg. Greg, what's up, Greg? He says, hey guys, over the next few weeks, I will do a significant rewriting and editing of all pages on my site, enough so that the rankings will dance all over the place. Do you recommend keeping all updates in draft mode as I write and then posting all the changes on the same day, or post each page's edits as they are done over a period of the next few weeks, which could keep the site dancing much longer? Thanks. That's a good one. I've never tested that, Greg. I can tell you how I've done that in the past, and that was to just publish the updates as they were completed. Because if it's a site that's going to take a few weeks of, because of the amount of content that's going to be updated, and it's going to take a few weeks, I typically just do all the updates, or publish the updates as they occur, as I complete them. Because, and here's my logic behind that. But although, guys, I have not tested this, and I'm curious to see what the other guys say. But my logic behind doing it, dripping it out as the changes are completed, is that Google's algorithm, if it's tuned to identify or to notice, right? To notice that changes are being made in sites, which it is. We know that for sure, but it's being done slowly over time. It's logical to me that Google would understand that that site is being updated, and it's there's a lot of content, so it's going to take time, as opposed to doing all the changes in draft mode and then making all the updates at once. That seems more like an activity that an SEO would do. At least that's my opinion. But again, guys, this is completely conjecture on my opinion, or at this point, because I have not tested it. So I've just always done it in a dripped out fashion because of the logic, how I feel it to be a logical reason to do that, if that makes sense. But again, that it's not tested. That's just my assumption. So anybody here want to take a different approach or different angle?
Yeah, I do it all at once as if it were a redesign. That's how I take it. I'm redesigning the website. Maybe I'm doing the silo architecture or whatever. And so it just goes live all at once.
Okay. And as far as dancing, have you tested one against the other to see if
no, because I always do it all at once. I like it. I don't like going back and or setting it. You have to set the calendar for each one of those to go out, or maybe when it's done, you have to publish it. Instead, you just have everything ready, and then you publish all at once. It's just how I think it's preference. And he may be right. He could set his website dancing time after time after time after time. I haven't tested that.
That's interesting. That'd be an interesting test, Greg. I mean, I don't know how I would do that, but so it's funny because Marco does it one way, I've done it the other. So I guess make a choice. We don't really know which one's going, because we haven't tested it. I don't want to give you a false answer as to which has more of a dancing effect or a prolonged dancing effect versus the other. I can't tell you honestly. So, but that would be an interesting test at some point.
I think Hernan was about to chime in.
Were you?
No, I was about to say that I agree with you guys. I agree with Bradley on that regard. So I was just going to say that. I agree.
Okay, cool. The memes. KD says, when buying press release from Newswire, does the subscription level influence its local SEO power? Is a 97 contributor PR sufficient as seen here? Also, is it safe to use Newswire for repeated weekly submissions, or is it necessary to mix up the PR providers? Okay, great questions. No, Newswire is fine. There's nothing wrong with Newswire. And as far as I know, the subscription level shouldn't make any difference. It's the distribution level, right? So if a higher subscription level gives you better distribution, then yes, the higher subscription levels would produce, better results, or they should produce better results because maybe more distribution, right? But as far as I know, if you're talking about newswire.net, then the subscription levels only adjust. It's the same distribution network, but they just, and again, I hope I have this right, but I think the different subscription levels, it's all the same distribution network. It's just the number of press releases that can be submitted within a given month is what is determined by the subscription level, not the number of distribution sites, if that makes sense. And so if that's the case, then no, this wouldn't make any difference at all, because you get the same distribution level as somebody that might have, an agency or a journalist or whatever the different levels are that they say, right? It's the same distribution level or network. So the same number of sites that it gets republished to, but it's just, you can't, somebody with a higher subscription level can submit more press releases within a given time frame. If that makes sense. So now, again, if you look at the different pricing options and higher subscription levels have more distribution, then yes, it would make a difference. Okay, so really think about it that way. All right. Also, is it safe to use Newswire repeatedly for weekly submissions? Yeah, it is. The only reason why we talk about mixing up PR providers is because especially if you're doing PR stacking, well, even if you're doing direct press releases to like money sites, for example, as your target URLs like money sites or maps listings and stuff like that, is if you repeatedly hit it over and over again to the same distribution network, there comes a point where there's diminishing returns. And I don't know what that point is, like when that threshold occurs, or when what it takes to cross that threshold. But I do know that I've experienced through, especially when I was testing all the stuff that I did for Local PR Pro, which is our training on how to do press release stacking and how to use press releases for ranking in the BAPS pack really, really quickly. Anyways, when I was doing all my testing for that, I found that when I started to vary the distribution networks, so essentially newswire.net was one of them, Press Cable, which is Chris Munch's. We also have 2 press release services in SERP space that we use. So I have 2 distribution networks there. Plus, so my point is I've used as many as 4 different distribution networks for a PR stack for one business. So if I'm going to do 4 press releases, I might use 4 different distribution networks, and then I get a much more diverse backlink profile, right? Because there are a number of sites that are going to be present on almost every distribution network. They're common because they're easy to, they're press cables that are popular and they're easy access. But every single distribution network are going to have some of their own unique distribution partners that the others do not. And that's why I said that's the only reason why I would recommend that you have, if PRs or press releases is your like one of your main services that you provide for your business, then I would recommend that you get some subscriptions in some other press release distribution networks so that you have that diversity available, right? Guys, I love press releases. I think they're absolutely amazing. I freaking love them. For SEO purposes, I use press releases like they're going out of style. It's one of my primary methods for getting results now is just using press releases. I mean, in addition to the other SM stuff, like Semantic Mastery stuff that we do, Drive Stacks, syndication networks, now local GMB Pro. But press releases are my go-to thing, guys, when I need quick movement, when I need backlinks, when I need citations. It's just, they're super, super powerful. So I use a number of different services, distribution networks, and I recommend that you do as well. Okay.
Well, one of the things that works really well for me, and I only do this for stuff that really, really matters, is I'll set up a press release stack the way that we teach in local PR Pro. And then somewhere along that stack, sometimes the very last one, I'll hit it with something like PR Web. Now, guys, before you go, it's expensive, right? If you choose, I think the top level is something like $400. The next one down is nearly $300. I always choose the next one down from the top, but you get so much exposure and distribution that it'll help push everything that you've done with the PR stack. Now, again, I do this when it's something, maybe I've come across something that's really difficult, but I know that my client is going to make a ton of money. And so I'll go and I'll get one of these releases. Again, PR Web is one. And I forget the one owned by I always forget the name, the one owned by Warren Buffett. They have a press release service. But either one, you can't go wrong, but you will have to spend the money. But then again, just charge the client for it.
Yep. Awesome. But yeah, KD, a great service. I'm telling you, like, actually, yeah, this gives me an opportunity real quick to point something out. So I'm developing, a prospecting funnel. I've been working on it for fucking months, man. Like, no kidding, months and months and months. It's taken so much longer than I planned, but I'm glad though, because it is difficult to set up and to, through trial and error to get it to work. But because of that, it means not many others out there are willing to do it, which means we're going to have a unique product that works incredibly well. And I'm teaching everybody in Mastermind how to do it, how to build these prospecting funnels. And the ultimate goal is, once I have it down, and like the prospecting funnel is absolutely working incredibly well. Our sales process still sucks for selling. It's still in development, but the prospecting funnel is working incredibly well. And the reason I bring this up is because actually my outreach campaign, the cold prospecting emails, because we're using cold outreach emails for right now as our primary prospecting method, and it's working like crazy. I'm going to show you my Pipedrive account here in just a moment for the agency that I've been testing all this stuff on, which is my own agency, Big Bamboo Marketing. I've been targeting specifically tree service contractors, but the outreach sequence that I'm using, the cold email sequence that I'm using, is a modified sequence that I got from Press Cable, because I have, I just mentioned that I use Chris Munch's Press Cable as one of my distribution networks for press releases. And I have a white label reseller agency account with them. And one of the things that they have inside there is, we should probably get with Chris Munch at some point and do a promo for Press Cable, because I do use it so much, guys. So if somebody wants to make a note of that. Anyways, It's a good service. So he's got this white label agency like email campaign thing in there that they'll do all the emailing from their servers. I don't recommend it though. And here's why. Because first of all, it's templated content. And guys, templated content, if it gets used by too many people, well, Google's servers and mail filters, it will filter it out. It will send it to spam or send it directly to promotional, because Google has machine learning, guys, and Google will recognize the same message being sent by dozens and dozens of emails, or even hundreds or even thousands of emails, sending from domains and such. And so Google will actually start filtering and automatically classifying certain emails as spam. And so inside Press Cable, if you use, and I'm not speaking bad about it, I think it's good, but what I'm saying is the templates, the email templates are, I guarantee you that most people don't go in and edit them considerably, which is what you should do, right? Anytime somebody gives you an email template, a sequence that's been templated, you should go in and edit it, customize it specific for your business, and change the messaging so that it's specific for your messaging. Because again, then it becomes unique and it won't get caught up in the spam filters if too many people use it. So that's number one. But number two, they also do the mailing from their own sending domains. And I found through testing that most of them are undeliverable, or they get rejected by webmail hosts, or they go to spam or promotional folder. And I know because I've tested them. So what I did was I actually pulled all the email copy out, edited everything to be more specific to my business. And then I started sending using Gmass and my own sending domains through G Suite. So Google Apps and Google Suite. And so now I'm using gmass.co, which is fabulous. It's great for cold outreach prospecting emails. And I'm using that plus my own sending domains, which are alias domains in a G Suite account. Okay. And we're getting incredible results. And here, let me show you, just to prove to you guys, this is from 3 weeks of mailing. Take a look at this. I know it's small on your end, but this is from 3 weeks of consistent mailing as of yesterday. And we only mail Monday through Friday. And you can see I've got 36 active leads in my pipeline right now. All tree services, because I mentioned that I'm targeting specifically tree service companies. The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm using the Press Cable sequence that's a modified version of it, specific to my business, where we're pitching PR services on the front end. And that's what's actually filling this pipeline right now. And again, this is we started on Tuesday 3 weeks ago. We've been mailing 5 days a week for 3 weeks. And we've got 36 inbound leads, which is crazy, right? This has been by far the most successful prospecting method I've used. And PRs are a great front end product, especially because you can get really quick wins. And so that's kind of what our pitch is on the front end right now, is using PR press releases to kind of get their attention. Okay. So anyways, great that you're doing that. I like to see it when other people are running with something that works, and I know that they work. Okay, this is Dan, right? He says,
yeah, it's Dan.
Yeah, it's Dan. Okay. Switched everything to liquidweb. Cool. That's awesome, Dan. So remember that conversation we had about hosting? And Dan was like, you got an affiliate link? I think this was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. But yeah, that's awesome. How can I get the VIP option? Just reach out at support. Along with the VIP, you're good to go. That's right. Okay, cool. So anyways, Adam got you, Dan. We'll get you squared. Yeah, that's what I saw. Okay. I didn't realize it was called Gutenberg. Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, let us know. Let us know what happens. Dan, that comes up. The GMB keyboards will come up. It's been rolling out. Not all of my GMB listings show that. Most of them do now, but not all of them. So just be patient. You should start seeing that soon. It's rolling out, I think, to all GMB insights reporting. It's just, I think it's, like I said, some of my listings don't have it, but almost all of them do. So just be patient. You'll see that soon. Yeah. Google Plus has had the world's longest funeral. Yeah. You know what's funny about that, guys? You could go back to when we first started Hump Day Hangouts, which I think was in 2013, maybe 14. I guess it was 14. Anyways, whenever it was that we started it. And there was people back then, like ever since Google Plus creation, there's been those people out there, the haters, that said Google Plus is dead. Like, I'm not kidding. You can search probably Google right now, Google Plus is dead, and find articles that were posted like in 2012 that says Google Plus is dead. It's a ghost town. It's going by the wayside. And it was funny because for many years, I would see articles, you know, fairly consistently on like Social Media Examiner, you know, and all these sites and stuff that were talking about Google Plus is dead and blah, blah, blah. Yet Google was actually incorporating more and more of Google Plus into its algorithm. And it was because, and I learned this, you know, again, when Google first started adding the semantic web to like how its algorithm worked, like Google Plus was to be used as an identity validator, right? It was a way to validate somebody as a real person because of the connections that they would have on the web. Why do you think syndication networks work so well? Because it's very similar to what Google Plus was trying to do by making all of its products integrate with a singular profile, a Google Plus profile. And it was a way to validate an identity, a person, and tie all of those products to that individual person, right? And so that's part of the reason that they did it. And so it was funny because I remember back in 2012 and 13 and 14, when these articles were coming about Google Plus being dead and Google's killing it off and all that, I was saying, no, Google's not going to kill it off. It's so much a part of its semantic algorithm now that there's no way they're going to kill it off. Well, here we are many years later, and I see its death is like Wayne said, it's a very long and slow funeral, or a very long and slow death. Really, it's not the funeral yet because it's not completely dead, but it's like they've been on like this terminal illness for the last 2 years. And I remember years ago, and the reason I brought up the Hump Day Hangouts was because I remember debating that on Hump Day Hangouts and me saying, I don't think it'll ever be taken away, or if it is, it's going to be a long time in the future because it's been so integrated into how Google identifies or validates an identity and ties all of their products together to one specific person. But here we are several years later, and they have actually started winding it down. But like Wayne mentions, it's been at least 2 years now that they've been pulling this stuff out of products, and it's still in progress. If that makes sense. So it's interesting to see, you know, all these years later, the prediction that I made that it wasn't going to be removed entirely, or if it did, it was going to take a long time. It's kind of coming to be true. And all those other people that were like, oh, it's dead, like 5-6 years ago, like they were proven wrong. You know what I mean? So
who was it? It was Steve Cato that gave us that Google blog, right? Mm-hmm. And the embed Google Streams. Because I just got an idea for a webinar on how we can just totally maximize the use of this with everything that we do, not only in RYS Reloaded, but in Google My Business. And so, Steve, if you're not in either one, I'm going to invite you to the webinar anyway, because you gave me the idea. And guys, if you are in, I'm just going to give you some monster stuff on how you can manipulate this to death.
And that's in GMB Pro?
This will be a GMB Pro, but I'm going to invite the RYS Reloaded guys, because they can take advantage of it, even if they're not in Google My Business. And I'm going to invite Steve Cato for putting that little itch in my brain on how this can be manipulated. I've been thinking about this the whole time we're talking. I'm thinking, oh, holy shit, and I can do this, and I can do this, and then we can circle back doing this. So it's going to be fun.
You should probably well, we'll talk about it, but invite the mastermind too. Then
so Steve, send if you're not in any of our groups or whatever. If you're not in Facebook, you should at least be in our free group in Facebook. Just reach out to me in Messenger and just give me your email address, so I can send you an invitation to the webinar. It'll take me about 2, 3, 4 weeks to set it all up, but once it's done, I'll make sure you get invited.
Sweet. That's pretty cool. See, guys, you get rewarded for educating us, right? So Greg says this looked like a fair comparison. Thanks, Greg. Actually, I've got it open over here. I'm going to scroll through here and take a look. Reason to choose HTML, my preference. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, if I knew how to do like build whole HTML websites, honestly, I shouldn't be building websites anymore anyways. I should be outsourcing that. But there are times that I still do build a lot of single HTML pages because I do a lot of SEO stuff with those. So I do a lot of that on my own. And again, I just edit it with Notepad++. It's very simple to do. But I don't know how to build full-on websites with HTML. And I don't think I should be anyways. But you know, it's just I just don't know how to do that. So if I need to build a whole website, then I just select WordPress. But then I do a few page speed optimizations to you know, to cut down on load time. So, but I agree. I think HTML is a better route to go, but it causes there's a lot, you know, it causes a lot of other issues too to not have the functionality that WordPress does. So, anyways, thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Dominic says he just had a birthday this week. Happy birthday, Dominic. He says Thrive Themes is expensive. I'm thinking of dropping them and moving to Divi 3.0, 220 a year for an agency on limited sites. That sounds great because I think we paid like almost $600 for our agency license that we just renewed it this week. Great drag and drop builder. Any thoughts? No, I don't have any thoughts about it just because I haven't used Divi. I'm one of the types of people that I hate testing new WordPress themes or developers because like they all have their own unique way of doing things. And there's such a learning curve. I don't know. I'm not a web designer. So for me, there's always such a learning curve every time I have to learn how to edit a different WordPress developer's theme. And so I've learned over the years, like I've used ink themes, INK themes, which aren't even great themes, to be honest with you, but I used them for years. That was my own, like if a client had if a client wanted me to build them a website, all I would do was send them to the ink themes marketplace to choose the template that they wanted, the design that they wanted. And if they sent back an email saying, I don't really like these, here are some others that I like, and they pointed out other developers, I would tell them flat out, well, that's fine, but now the web design cost is going up $1,000 because I'm going to have to hire somebody else to do the build instead of me because I don't know how to do those themes, and there's going to be a huge learning curve. Or I would hire somebody else, and that's typically what I would do if somebody like if somebody had an existing website on a different theme that they wanted to keep, or if they had a specific theme that was built by a developer that I didn't know or that I had no experience with, which was pretty much everybody else out there besides ink themes. Then I would either charge them to learn how to work on that theme, or I would go to Upwork and find somebody that was proficient in that specific developer's theme, and then I would hire them to do it. But I would always add like a premium to that web design service specifically for that reason. So I learned how to do, by the way, I'm really not very proficient at Thrive themes either, but I know enough to be able to build some, pages and stuff that look decent. So again, Thrive themes is my, just Dominic, for your sake, I haven't used Divi. Maybe one of the other guys have. If you're real proficient with WordPress stuff, it might be easy for you, but for me, I'm sure there's a learning curve that I don't want to mess with.
So. Yeah, it's all I'm using now, and of course, Semantic Mastery has a Caesar for all that stuff that we need for anything that needs to be coded or whatever else. But yeah, Divi is what I've been using for quite a while now.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. I think we're done with questions, guys. Yeah, Dan says he's in Canada, so maybe next year. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's going to roll out slower in Canada if you're talking about the insights keywords, Dan. So anyways, guys, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And we'll see everybody. Oh, we got Mastermind webinar tomorrow, guys, so be there or be square.
Outstanding. And just a quick reminder, wanted to say something before we wrap up. If you saw the emails, Leads Recon from Ted Chen, he gave us a heck of a deal for subscribers. I'm going to put the link on there, but price is going up. It's been out for a while and he's been working on it. It's like doubling or something in price tonight at midnight. So last chance to hop in on that if you want. I think between us, we own several licenses already. So highly recommend this tool for you if you're interested in it.
For Leads Recon?
Yeah.
Did you drop the link again?
I'm going to do that right now. I need to make sure I get the right one.
Also, just for people that might not be on the event page, what is it? If you have the slug, it's semanticmastery.com/what? Or is it leadsrecon.com/semantic mastery?
You know what? I am logged in. Give me 10 seconds here. If everyone can hold on, this is worth it to the people who want to grab it. I'll make sure we get this right. It is Semantic Mastery.
Because I did a walkthrough webinar of how I use the tool. And so if you're curious about how the tool works and everything, please watch the webinar. It's a great tool, and it's a lifetime license for $297. I think it's $297. It's like $300.
Correct. Yeah, and it's going to a yearly, and it's going to be something like double or triple that.
Yeah, he said he was going like $697 for a lifetime option, but it'll be $297 yearly. And then the lifetime option for $697, I think, is going to go away soon. So, anyways, my point is, if you're interested in it at all, You can watch the webinar. You'll see exactly how I use it. It's great for getting lead data very, very quickly. Like I use another tool. I use Lead Kahuna for most scraping, but I hired a VA to do it because Lead Kahuna like pulls so much freaking data and it takes a long time to run and it pulls a ton of data. And most of the data we don't use, but it does pull in a lot of additional data. Whereas Leads Recon is more about getting results very quickly. And it doesn't give you a whole shit ton of unnecessary data. And so it runs real quick. It's efficient and there's it's a good tool. So I highly recommend you check it out. Okay.
That's good.
All right, guys. We'll see you all next week. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.